Hello and welcome to a whole nother awesome review. Today I thought I'd review Captain America. I just came back from Captain America and let me tell you, it was a really good film. I really enjoyed it. If I was to rate this film out of 10, I would probably give it a 8 out of 10. It's a really enjoyable, decent film, and I would say go see it. I really liked the makeup on the Red Skull. I'm glad they didn't like CGI, with all the CGI practical effects they're using and everything. I think a lot of comic book films use too much CGI, and that's where you kind of lose the character within the Marvel universe. If they over CGI it, it looks kind of fake. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to use CGI because that's the only way you can make a character. Like the Hulk is really hard not to use CGI. You know what I'm saying? But with the Red Skull's face, I'm glad that they didn't use CGI, because not a big fan of CGI when you don't need to use it. When you can use practical makeup, then I am all for it. Personally, I like, the non-CGI Yoda. So having the non-CGI Red Skull face was awesome. So there you go. Chris Evans does a really fantastic job of playing Captain America in this film. He did a really good job. The only problem I have with this movie personally was I didn't really like the love story between him and Peggy. You know what I mean? I know that he needed a love interest in it and whatnot, but it just didn't really work for me. Like, there's a scene in Captain America where he's in a plane, a jet actually. And, he's in the Captain America jet, right? So, he's talking to his love interest, on the jet through a radio signal, And I didn't feel that scene, like the emotion in that scene, personally. But I thought it was a really good film. Not so much the love interest thing just didn't work for me in that film. But I have to say, Tom Lee Jones is a badass in this movie, and Chris Evans is a badass, and Red Skull was really cool in this film. So the only problem I pretty much had was the love story in this film. I didn't really feel the chemistry between him and Peggy, but other than that, it's a good film, and I would give it a 8 out of 10, and I would totally suggest seeing it. There's a couple of scenes in this movie that feel kind of like they were made for 3D. I would say about 2 minutes of the film feel like they were, gimmicky and kind of like just people jumping out of the screen and whatnot. And you kind of feel that they were made for 3D. But most of the film doesn't feel like it was made for 3D. Like, you can watch it in 2D and still be impressed with the film itself. The story is actually fairly good. I enjoyed it, and I learned a lot of things that I didn't know before, like about Iron Man's father and what he did during World War II. I didn't know all this stuff because I never actually read the Captain America comic books, and the comic books that I read personally was the Thor comic books, Elektra, the Amazing Spider-Man comic books, and I never got the chance to read the Captain America comic books. But hearing his story kind of interested me. See, I went into the movie not knowing any of the backstory of Captain America, and then I came out of it actually knowing it. And I think that actually made it more interesting to me, not knowing the backstory. Because, let's face it, if you know the backstory of a character before you go into a movie, it kind of ruins the mystery of the film. And I like having that mystery, basically. So, seeing this film from, like a clear point of view, not knowing what's going to happen, made it much more interesting for me. I thought, a lot of the action scenes were really good. Some of my favorite action scenes in the film have to be the motorcycle scene. I thought it was really badass and, totally kick-ass. Kind of like Tim Burton, has that kind of like Batman Returns feel to it when he's on the motorcycle and he's like doing all the sweet traps and whatnot. I really like that, and I don't think Tim Burton sometimes gets the respect that he deserves. He's a really good filmmaker, and those first two Batman movies he made were fantastic, and I feel Captain America kind of had that feel to it with the motorcycle scene. And Tim Burton's definitely up there with Christopher Nolan for me. I think he's a fantastic director, and I love his first two Batman movies, and I love Batman Returns and Dark Knight. And I really liked how this movie was done. It had a lot of comic book kind of like gags in it. I mean, it had some comedy mixed in with it, which I really enjoyed. There were a lot of really funny one-liner jokes in this film, which really brightened the mood in the dark scenes. That was probably the funnest thing about this film was these funny one-liners that they had in Captain America. And it really worked for the film. I mean, I enjoyed it, and I would say definitely go see it. It is a decent Marvel film. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best Marvel film of them all, but I would highly suggest seeing it, and I would say that Chris Evans makes a fantastic Captain America. So I would say see it. And, I can't wait to see the Avengers movie. Really, I'm a big fan of Samuel Jackson and Quentin Tarantino's films. And just having Samuel Jackson, going to be in the Avengers with Chris Evans and, Robert Downey Jr. is going to be awesome. Robert Downey Jr. and Captain America, together in a movie, Chris Evans. I think that's going to be really cool. And I can't wait till May 2012, because when you get to the end of Captain America, I think everybody knows that Captain America survived this movie, because otherwise, how could he be in the Avengers, right? So I think having Captain America be in the Avengers is totally awesome. So I can't wait to see that. And it did open my eyes up. There's a lot of things I didn't know about Captain America, which I found out in this movie. So I did like it. It was a good film. I would highly suggest it. And I had this talk about at my work. I was like, Canada doesn't have a Captain Canada. Isn't that weird? Then I thought back, wait a second. Wolverine's Canadian. Think about it. I mean, the guy lived half of his life in Canada. He considers himself a Canadian. And look at his back history and Wolverine origins. I mean, the guy's Canadian. I mean, he even worked as a logger in Canada. So technically, Wolverine is Canadian. So having Wolverine as a Canadian, superhero, that's totally kick-ass. We don't really need Captain Canada, because we got Wolverine, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's totally kick-ass. So, and if Wolverine and, Captain America teamed up, they could totally kick, Red Skull to his death. So anyways, I just wanted to point that out to you guys, because I was thinking about that Captain Canada, Wolverine. Wolverine's he's the Canadian superhero, basically. So anyways, yeah, I really enjoyed this film, and I would say definitely see it. It is awesome. And I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope to review more Marvel films in the future. I'll probably review Thor when I get it on Blu-ray. I really enjoyed that film too, by the way. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and have an awesome night. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'll have more reviews coming up soon.